Hello and welcome back to another PAX Online video. As you can see, I have not showered, so it's just like PAX regular, in case you were wondering. And with us today are TikTok Games, who are awaiting their acquisition by Microsoft. Is that what I'm hearing properly?
That's what's
what the thing
happening.
is?
Yeah.
Hasn't been announced yet.
The check's in the mail.
So please introduce yourselves for our listeners and our viewers. And what do we see? What are we going to see here today? What are we talking about?
So I am Michael Herbster. I'm one of the co-directors, along with the very special.
Mark Gomez, I'm special.
He is my co-director, and we're here to show you guys B.Ark, our fun shoot 'em up that's 4-player co-op focused. You can play through the game in single player, and it's very cute and beautifully hand-drawn animated by Gomez and a team of other very talented artists that we have in-house. And that is yep. And I am the director of gameplay for that side of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. So
I'm just the marketing manager. I'm just here to say hi. My name's Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Hi,
You're
Emily.
here to make sure they don't say anything stupid. Is that what this is?
Well, yeah, and to answer questions.
Heard. Gotcha.
So, describe this thing for us. It looks a lot like Gradius or R-Type, but with cute, fuzzy animals. Where did this idea come from?
So, internally, Mark was the one that came up with the cute, fuzzy animals. And I am in charge of making sure that you have fun in the whole process itself. So, Mark could probably answer where these cute, fuzzy animals came from.
Yeah, so, we knew that we were making a shmup for the Switch, and it was something that is very family friendly. So when trying to come up with the characters, we wanted to try and see what's something that is still cool for a shooter, but also is family friendly and can have a good narrative behind it. And so we came up with these characters. We tried to animate it in a way, in a style that really supports being friendly to all people and also telling a really cool story. But gameplay-wise, Hershey can talk to you about how we wanted to support all of the different, types of people that would be playing through the game.
So a lot of the early inspiration for the game from my end was like looking at Gradius, classic games that I grew up with, like Parodius is also oftenly referred to as a cute 'em up, which was kind of where I wanted to lean as well for our games. Or for this game in particular. And the other fun one that I got to find out about this project that I wish I would have seen in my childhood was Darius, which is very much themed on like mechanical fish and undersea creatures. And that's what we fight in our game, which was not intentional, but a great homage, if you will, towards that classic gameplay. And yeah, our players, our character pilots are themed obviously for animals. The animals 4 types are Felicity the cat, Barker the dog, Lucio the bear, and Marv the rabbit. And those 4 characters all have super abilities that are all very themed to their character. And we have something really cool, which is called our super dupers, are the 4 abilities that each character gets. But if 2 characters use their super duper at the same time and make contact with each other, then they fuse, and the super upgrades 1 size up. Yep, just like Mark's doing with the whole fusion dance. I'll do it the other direction, but there's no camera.
I was doing it with you.
Fusion. But yeah, so all the supers all stack into each other. So if you're playing only 2 players, then you get to see 2 fusions together and 2 super upgrades between the 2 characters. And if you're playing a full 4-player game, then everybody can help fuse into each other, and then you can just be a large plethora of bullets and defense and super speed and other cool upgrades for each character.
What super move makes the Switch actually explode in your hands while you're playing?
So I can admit that when you do all 4 characters, it actually explodes, but it's actually a rainbow that shoots out from the center of the screen into your eyeballs.
Oh, excellent. Okay. That must be a Labo. I don't know about.
You can make it with Labo.
Just pelts you with a rainbow piece of cardboard right in the eye socket. Why is this a feature?
Every game should have that feature, Steven.
Just pelting you with cardboard. Great. So I usually get a lot of messages whenever there's a video game that has anything to do with a cat. And there's this perception that I consume all video games that star cats, and that's because
you did it to yourself.
It's because I played Cat Quest. I played one cat game, and I have 2 cats. Like that was the only.
That's how rumors start, dude.
Anyway,
so Cat Quest was pretty good.
Cat Quest is dope.
Yeah, that's really great.
We love our friend Desmond. He's been on the show a couple of times. But so why don't you, let's go back into that whole cutesy fuzzy thing, because why are we going cutesy fuzzy? Why do we want to make this something that is, skewed a little bit younger in that aspect?
I mean, go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh
no, I mean, as far
they both have very strong
chicken.
caught them off guard. Okay,
is this Canadian chicken? What's happening? No, you.
Sorry.
Yeah, but as far as the origin of the idea, we definitely, like I said, we're leaning towards Switch, and we know that there's an audience there, lots of people who do have kids, and being a space shooter, it's a genre that is very easy to understand how to play. I move characters with the left hand, and I shoot at things with the right hand, and anything that moves, I kill it. And so it's so basic, but yet it's made for such a hardcore audience. And so trying to make something that's more accessible for both families and their children was something that we wanted to challenge ourselves with. And I think we definitely got a good deal with the gameplay, like Herbster was saying, with the fusions and ways that you can cooperate with your family members and try to help carry someone along to the end if they're not as skilled as you.
It's interesting.
When does the
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, when does the Happy Tree Friends mode kick into this?
I mean,
I sense it.
maybe Bark 2.
It's DLC.
That's the DLC. Yeah.
Yeah, if you see our opening cinematic to the demo, you'll see that it's not all happy fun time with these animals. We're definitely going down more of a Pixar route where it's very charming, very pretty, but then we're gonna hit you in the gut with some feelings at the same time.
I found it interesting that, at least the way I'm understanding it, is you sought out to make a Switch game first, and then the game came along. Is that what I'm understanding right? Like you just said, "Hey, we're making something for the Switch. Let's get there," and then you built around that.
I mean, I could.
Let
me fill that one. So, I think that the Switch helps promotes couch co-op in a way that other systems don't. But very similar to the way that the 64 having the 4 ports in the front, being like that first push of like, hey, this is what you're going to play with your friends, and like the option is always there. The Switch effectively having 2 controllers like at launch, even though the Joy-Cons as separated pieces can be a little unwieldy, it allows for people to just pick up and play 2 players right away. So I think the mindset of like, hey, we want to do a 4-player game, and we want to skew it, not necessarily that we're skewing it young, but like we want it to be welcoming to everybody, means that like we want people to want to play it together. And the easiest setup for that, outside of people needing multiple Joy-Cons for anything past 2 players, would be that access point. It's like if brothers, let's say 2 brothers have the system and they want to play this game, they spend the money to pick it up, and then they can just start playing it right off the bat with the base system.
Now, are you guys, is it only local co-op, or is it going to be an online component as well?
Currently, we're aiming for local co-op only. We are looking into other avenues for other options, possibly further down the line. But our main focus was making sure that people could be right next to each other. Not nearly, not like it definitely is fun to play the game with multiple people. The few times that we've had the pleasure to do that as a group, due to our current living conditions, it's been a blast.
Fascinating. And there's also, I think, one more game you guys are showing off this year as well, coming to the Switch, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, we're also releasing Adventures of Pip on the Switch. It's not a new title for us, but it's the first time that it's debuting on the Switch, which is really fun to talk about it again after 5 years and introduce it to people who haven't seen it. It's a game that didn't get too much notice, And so for people to see it now for the first time, it's really fun.
And it's a game that also, I think, deserves to be on a Nintendo system. It's all about pixels, and your character can evolve or devolve to different like bits per se.
Yeah, it totally works as a Switch game, especially with all the indie titles that are coming out on Switch. And it's definitely the system that I would want to play it on. I just want to play everything on my Switch. So
we know the
just give me Final Fantasy on the Switch.
Was it on a handheld game before, like a handheld console before? Like, this is the first time you'll be able to like kind of pick it up and go. And it's definitely is one of those kinds of games that lends towards the idea of like, having it just ready to play anywhere you're at. So
I mean, that's what Switch kind of opened our eyes to, right? Like just a few years ago, it was like, oh wait, no, I want everything on the go. Give me all of it, all of it. I don't want to play on a big TV sitting in an uncomfortable chair ever again. I want to be sitting in my bed looking up at the ceiling and getting my arms numb. You know, you get that weird arm numb. Does anybody else?
Like over here?
Yeah.
Like in this little, these parts?
And you're like,
like right in this little section over here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
For me is...
But you love it, though.
I want to play Last of Us in the bathroom. I want to play...
It's a great game for the toilet.
Yes.
Your most vulnerable position.
I heard the Switch Pro is going to be waterproof, so you could have it in the shower. That's what I've heard. All right, so why don't you wrap up by telling everybody how they could follow you, when they could see these projects coming out, these games coming out, and all that fun stuff.
Well, Adventures of Pip is out right now, so you can go grab it on Switch right now. Mm-hmm.
I thought that was coming soon.
Just before PAX, so that everybody can be playing it this weekend if they wanted to. And then our B.Ark game, it releases later this year, probably like right in time for the holidays. And you can follow us on TikTok Games on all of our on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're even on Twitch, and we stream every Tuesday so that we can show off kind of where we're at with B.Ark, and you can come in and like ask the devs questions or give us your feedback. You got to play the demo, all that kind of stuff. And we're gonna be streaming pretty regularly so that you can kind of come in and find out like what games inspired the dev team, and you can like see us play the games that inspired us and all that kind of stuff, so that we can continuously show off. And if we have any games in the future coming up here, then we'll be posting it on all those socials, and we'll be talking about them on our Twitch. So
awesome.
Sounds great.
All right, Andy, take us home.
Thank you for watching yet another exciting installment of PAX Online here on Dual Screens.
That's right. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, viewer. And keep it tuned here to youtube.com/DualScreensTV. And of course, check out our podcasts. Dual Screens Podcast. You can just search that and it'll come up. It's also on the same YouTube channel. So.
Yeah, it's there.
And we have interviews posting every Thursday, and you're going to have so much more PAX Online coverage. Thank you so much again, Mark, Michael, Emily. And as always, please be excellent to each other.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.